everybody. Hi, everybody. Um, I do hope that everyone can hear me. uh, if someone's out there, you can just, okay. Yeah, sorry, there I am. If anyone's out there, um, maybe you can just send a note in the comments to tell me you can hear me. um, it's been a long time since I last spoke. Been an interesting and challenging couple of months for myself and my family, um, as it has been for many people. Um, so I'm here to connect and usher in the connection to the new moon and solar eclipse. Hi there, Anthea. Thanks for sending a note there. Can you hear me? um, so yeah, wonderful to be reconnected with you at this time. We have an awesome cosmic event coming up, the new moon and the solar eclipse taking place tomorrow morning. So this is an invite for all who are out there to join me and of course many others around the world who will be involved with ceremony, with prayer, with setting of intentions as we collectively refind ourselves as humanity. So a very, very exciting time. And of course, this new moon, besides being a huge opportunity for, letting old stuff go, refreshing, renewing, rebirthing ourselves, which is so much of what individually and collectively we are busy with right now. So it's also going to be the lead up to the full moon of the summer solstice, which is going to be on the 19th, the full moon, and of course the 21st is the actual summer solstice itself, a massive, huge event. Again, to do with the honoring of the cycles, the death and the rebirth. So of course, the people up in the north will be in their midwinter solstice, that duality, that polarity of cold and dark, long, dark days, and of course us down here in the south, having an awesome time in the sunshine with bountiful amounts of light and warmth to enjoy the abundance of the summertime. So the solstices, wherever you find yourself, north or south of the equator, is always an extremely powerful time to be doing the inner and outer work energetically. So I'm here to share some insights that I have uh, been feeling into over the last week or two, and last night I was called to start to write some of these points down to help us all to focus an intention for this new moon. And I know that many of you will share in these thoughts and musings, as it is part of the collective consciousness that is in shift right now. So whenever that happens, we are all starting to wake up and find the real truth within ourselves. So to do that, I'm going to go back to 2020, to a video that I posted shortly after the craziness started, and for me, it was clearly a great spiritual awakening that was being ushered in. So the title of that video, which I actually put in the little description there because I couldn't find it myself very easily, but and I'm not a very great YouTube promoter, so maybe you can go and like my channel if you like. But that particular video was called A Quantum Leap into the Unified Field. And I describe a little bit more in detail in that video, but in short, there was a golden light that was starting to creep over the earth, gently flowing its spirit across the earth. And that golden, it was a golden song line that was ushering in the opportunity for a quantum leap into the unified field. So my narrative definitely has not changed. It is still the same. And I'm going to bring some clarity and deeper insight to what that really means. And so I'm going to read a little bit, because that's the only way I can kind of get stuff put down in a way that I hope is coherent for everybody and actually helps you in some way, shape, or form. So here we are. We're set for the new moon, the solar eclipse, and the title is Unifying Our Duality, which is happening, of course, tomorrow morning. And for us, there's a few of us down south of the equator that will actually get to experience this event. And of course, here in Cape Town, we're one of them, one of the ones who will be actually able to see the moon gently bite into our sun. So this is an outer cosmic event that is showing this unity that's taking place, this unified yin yang, if you like, father sun, mother moon, grandmother moon, coming together in unity. An event that is seen by many depending around the world, and in this case it will be Australia, South America, and South Africa mostly, who will get to see a little bit of this beautiful divine light show that will be taking place. So for me, the unifying of our duality, it's about refinding our spiritual core, or chord, our goddess center, our light of truth, our soul song, our light song, the harmonious hum and sacred space that unites and holds the divine center within us. And that divine center is either holding the duality, and I mean the dual, the duel, the fight that is playing itself out now. And for me, this is a physical mind and emotion that is creating the dual, the duality. Or it's the divine center, which is our true center, the spiritual core that we seek, the place of harmony that unites the divine yin and yang within us. So this spiritual core, this spiritual fulcrum and place of balance, which honors the divine dance and encourages the divine song, the overtone of the high notes and the low notes. So instead of seeing it in a physical duel, like a battle, which is what so many of us are doing, is that we are seeing a war. We are seeing it's a us and a them situation, like an aggressive yin and yang. But when we are in the unified God center in our spiritual core, of course, this is not so. We understand that these two extreme forces are part of our divine beingness. and we are merely choosing to view it as duality, a duel, a fight between the two. It doesn't actually have to be that. So we need to move out of the physical and emotional space we're in, that is perpetuating the duality within us, and move into our spiritual core, chord, our true center of our beingness, that connects us to this unified song, the universal song. So in essence, we are the song of light. We sing our soul song along with the universe, the one song, the universe, the one song of creator and creation. So many years ago, when I had asked the question of one of the sacred sites that I work with, about what this whole journey was that I was on, running around to sacred sites and watching the sunrise and the light and the shadow. And the words that came back were very clear. And the words were, we are all made of and are pulsating shades of light. In other words, if we translate that, it means we are literally the vibration of the song of light. So we are all pulsating, means vibration. Pulsating shades refers to the spectrum or the color of light itself. So it wasn't very difficult for me to understand that this is as simple as it gets. We are all quite literally the sound of light, and we all come in with our soul song, and we are here to learn to better sing our soul song with the universe, with the one song of creation. So to move on, when we live in the now, we can find and be in our core, in our core, in a more harmonious song and dance with the collective. So when we get into this amazing space, we have a much better time. We're actually way more relaxed. We're devoid of fear, and we can share our light and song in a much more lighter way and fun-filled way, heart-filled way. This is the unified field of beingness in the now. So when we live in the unified field of our beingness, and we are completely in the now, there isn't really much else that matters. So we have no fear. We are devoid of fear. And so many people are carrying this fear within them. So when we realize that we are the song of light, we are born, and when we are born, the way we were created was that the mother song and the father song, in other words, what we would see as the two dualities, but it's not really, they're just polarities, or the yin and the yang, the light and the shadow, if you like. But the male and the female is what it really comes down to. It was the mother song and the father song that heard each other and sung each other together and came together in unity. With the spirit of unity, they unified together to create us, the children. We were born from that unified connection between the song of the mother and the song of the father. So when we are born with that song, we grow with our own unique soul song, and we live and we share our life and our song and our dance with all of all that is around us, the collective choir, if you like, the collective choir of the now, of course. So that includes the earth, the stars, the cosmos, the sun, the moon, the people, the plants, the animals, the elements, the fire, rain, wind. All of these things are part of this amazing choir of life that we are all a part of. And everyone's voice is valid, and there is no right or wrong song. But we can all learn to better sing our soul song with the universal choir. So, of course, then we die, and in the physical, and our life song continues to play because it is our record, our chord, our song is recorded into the collective song. It never actually disappears. So our spirit and song will continue to play. It has been recorded. And of course, it is a record of that lifetime that we lived and how we chose to share our light song in that particular lifetime. And then our soul song continues to sing itself into new lifetimes for eternity. We are and always will be a part of this beautiful universal choir. So the same thing, once we realize this within the core of our being, all fear just falls away. There is no fear of death. So we must, as individuals, I believe, take note of our soul umbilical cord, the song, for it is the spiritual cord and core of our being that gives us access to the sacred unified field, the oneness, the love, and truth. So the great storm of duality around us is a physical extreme, but it has a divine rocking effect, if you like, that we have all co-created on an inner and outer mental and emotional and physical dual polarity war. So that in this extreme physical rocking, we will find our true God center within us, our universal soul song and spiritual core. So in some way, we have co-created this war, this duality, so that we can rock ourselves to these massive extremes. And these are all physical, emotional rockings that are taking place right now. But in that great big duality, the war of the rocking around us and within us, we will find the center. So when we eventually get to a point where we're going to fall over, that's when we pull ourselves back into the core of our being. And I trust an opportunity that we can really find ourselves in our God center. So when we can find that spiritual chord, that song, that is our heart song, that is of pure love, it is only then that I believe when we find this space within us, our true spiritual core, that unified field, that we can actually help restore the physical duality that we've created. So when we find ourselves in that spiritual core, and many of us do, we find this space, but of course it's like for a moment, and then we lose it again. But it is in those times where we are and can feel we are in our true spiritual core, then we can see the truth, like really clearly. We can see and feel the real God-centered truth, and then we are not at war in that time, in that space. For it is then that we can have compassion for those who we see are holding on to physical truths, which are valid, physical truths that they are leaning on for support. For fear of their lives and their physical well-being. So what's happening in the physical truths is that people are leaning on physical truths that are not spiritual and whole truths. They are leaning on to one side, on a stick over here, leaning this way, because they physically are needing to lean that way to feel, to overcome their fear. Well, because they're scared, quite literally, and they are worried for their lives and for their well-being of themselves and their families. So when we're in our God truth, in the core of our being, and in that unified state of consciousness, that God-centered space that links us to the song of God, if you like, we can see them leaning to one side of their inner and outer duality. Or maybe they're rocking from both sides radically. It is from this space, our unified Goddess field, our soul chord and song, that we can share our truths with them from this space, not in a warring way that perpetuates duality, but in a way that has empathy, with love, and with compassion. This, I trust and feel, will help others to find and remember their own unified soul chord within themselves and their song of light, and bring themselves back into balance, into a harmonic convergence again with the universal choir once again, and see the truth for themselves from that space. This is when we, the collective song of humanity, can truly start to sing and co-create a new harmony of life together. So this is when it's going to get really exciting. And I believe this is what's coming. This is what we are ushering in. How long it's going to take is up to each of us individually. How long is it going to take for us to remember our soul chord within ourselves? So join us tomorrow for this new moon, this solar eclipse, and help to share this intention and any other intention you may have for yourself and for humanity and for the planet. And let's carry this intention in our hearts to the next full moon and solstice event, this cycle of death and rebirth on the summer and winter solstice of the 21st of December. In the north, in the south, wherever you may find yourself, as it is individually and collectively. As individually and collectively, we will awaken this universal song, the one song of creation within us all. And it is here in this special place where the light and the shadow meet. May we gather there and sing our song together. So just wishing you all an absolutely awesome new moon, solar eclipse, wherever you may be in the world. Join with us energetically. You can go have a look and see what sort of times the eclipse is actually taking place in your side of the world. Here in South Africa, it's starting at about 7:45 a.m. in the morning. So basically the sun and moon are going to rise together. That's what's going to happen. They're going to be in unity. And just about 2 hours after rising is when they're going to touch each other and hold each other for that moment. And it is a full solar eclipse, but not as many people will be able to actually see that. So it's going to be going from around about 7:45 a.m. South African time, right the way through till probably around 9 o'clock or so in the morning. So please join us energetically, or if you want to join physically, the details are here, and it's also on my Facebook page. It will be up on Elsie's Peak, up on the top of the mountain, where we're going to have this incredibly awesome view across the ocean to the horizon calendar, where the sun and the moon will be rising. And hopefully Spirit will create a beautiful, clear day for us all to experience this union. But either way, we will be there energetically, in unity, holding this intention for ourselves, for humanity, for our planet. So sending you all much love, much blessings. Let's stay tuned in. Until next time.